this is a recurring theme as well in these podcasts. Jimmy Smith buries Ronda Rousey. So do you remember Jimmy Smith?
Good.
He was a commentator for
He's a commentator,
WWE.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lasted, what, a year or two? I can't even remember. He
Yeah.
didn't last too long. But he was also commentator for Bellator and UFC. And he's very familiar with Rousey's time in both companies. Was he in Bellator? Yeah. And WWE was familiar with as well, of course. Staying silent on the matter until recently, Smith has revealed that the former women's champion was not a well-liked figure backstage. So here's the quote.
Hmm.
I've never been a religious person, right? One of the things I've always said about God, he gets all the credit, none of the blame.
Yes.
That's what Ronda Rousey wants. All the credit, none of the blame. I want credit for all my wins. My losses, I had CTE and all this and all that. I'm the greatest to ever do it, but when it didn't work, it was so and so and so and so and so, and never me. She never gives credit to the people who actually beat her. The idea that, quote, I left MMA and went to the WWE because I had concussion problems makes no sense. And it sure doesn't make any sense because that's Concussion City Pro Wrestling, as you know, and anyone who's wrestled knows. There's more quotes, but let's pick that up at the moment then. So Ronda Rousey refuses to take any blame for anything bad that's ever happened.
Well, she was complaining last week about the not taking enough time with her to rehearse whatever she was going to do. Wait a minute. Didn't they take her to NXT? Why didn't they put her in an accelerated program? Because she don't get it. She doesn't get it. You're a comedian going on stage. You got to feel the heat in that room. You got to feel the temperature in that room. So when she walks out with a big crowd, she has to listen to those people. They'll tell you what to do. But no, she wants to walk out there and do what Rhonda wants to do. Nobody can tell her nothing because she knows it all because she was in MMA. I doubt if she could beat some of those girls in right now in the damn WWE. I don't know. It would be a tussle for her. Let's say Bianca Belair. If they wanted to throw down, I don't know if Ronda could handle her. I don't know if she could handle that Jade girl. So she has never been overly friendly to me. I was in WWE with her, and I could tell they introduced her to me, but I could tell she didn't like, who am I? Why am I meeting this guy? Why am I meeting Yosemite Sam? And she wasn't very friendly. I mean, she said, pleased to meet you or what, but you could tell her attitude, she didn't much like it. So I immediately legged over and took her down and put her in figure four and
Oh, yeah.
made her submit right there on the floor. Yep.
Step over toe hold.
Yep. That's what I did. But see, these people get in this business and they start talking about like they've been in it forever. Why didn't you take more time with me? Because, some of those things, she was with the greatest women workers in the world. And if she didn't pick it up from them and them trying to help her, she's not going to get it, period. Am I wrong?
Do you know, her complaint last week, if memory serves, was that Logan Paul was getting preferential treatment because, he was getting time to practice all his matches. But
Yes,
there's a
that's
big
that's what she
difference in
was.
that.
But
There's,
Logan Paul is about 3 times the athlete she is. You can
well,
tell by the way he moves.
yeah.
He's a better
And
athlete.
here's the thing, right, is that she, at the beginning, did get the same preferential treatment as Ronda, as Logan Paul, for that tag match with Kurt Angle and Stephanie and Triple H at that WrestleMania. That went
Logan
20
Paul
minutes.
has Logan Paul has something that Ronda Rousey cannot get. A personality. Because when he goes to the ring, he's going to make you pay attention to him. He's not he will talk to the people. He'll talk back to them. Like he's going back from the ring. Oh, he'll stop and he'll say something to individually. Rhonda won't even do that. She won't even acknowledge that there's people out there. So till she learns to play the game, and I think she's too old right now. I mean, she can go and do, on an independent show or something and go do what she wants to do. But I think her days in WWE probably are well behind her. And I'm waiting for them to put her in the Hall of Fame because I will be I don't think she deserves to be there. Do you?
No, I doubt. I don't think they put her in. I really don't think they'll put her in, especially with all the things she said
Well,
in
you
the book
know,
and everything.
okay, let's say this. I think she'll be pushing to get into the Hall of Fame
Really? What makes you say that? She just
because
thinks I was
It's
great.
Rhonda. Yes, she has a big. She thinks she's bigger than what she is. Really, I've seen people like you. You see them all over, not necessarily in wrestling, but you see them in other things too. You know, they think they're more important than what they really are. But that's what I've always preached. I said, if you don't think you're the best there is, you don't have any business being there. I don't blame her for feeling that way. But she's going to have some people vote for her. Who votes for the Hall of Fame? I don't vote.
Oh, we don't know now. That's the interesting thing. We don't know anymore.
Wait a minute.
It
I
used to just
want
be
to.
Vince.
Oh, he had a few people who voted, and
It would suggest names, and then he made the final list. But no, these
yeah,
days we don't know. So the Hall of Fame that just
could be
happened
the
was Triple H's version.
same thing. But I think you need a panel. Who gets on? Who doesn't get on? Because they had those guest appearances by during the draft.
Mm.
Like Bradshaw was there and Teddy Long and Bubba and they were all reading out who they drafted and all. I think they need somewhat of a Hall of Fame board, and they could make that kind of a big deal because they were like, and you don't need many. I would say 5 to 7, no more. And they don't have to all be in one place to vote. They can vote, use the internet, call up. They put me down for this. This is who I'm voting for.
I've been looking at Ronda's match history, and she probably did about 75 matches in her first run. She did house shows. They put her with Natalia a lot. Who better to train with than to teach than Natalia?
In her first year,
In her first run that lasted a year, she did about 75 matches, house shows, TV shows,
okay,
pay-per-views, the lot.
I want to put that up against the way things used to be.
Well,
We would do 75 matches in 2 months. Easy. I have had as many as 10 matches in 1 week. No more than that. I think I had like 16. And the reason being we had a tournament, had to work twice a night, do a TV. So it was 14 or 15, no, 15 matches. So she's talking about going out there doing 75 matches, which is quite a bit, really.
but
You
these
just
days, I mean, if you compare it to AEW, because we said this recently, quite a bit ago, someone like Hook, who wrestles fairly frequently for AEW, has only really wrestled 20 times a year. So, at least Ronda comparatively is getting the reps in. She's with some of the best women out there who she
the
can learn
best.
from. And then,
Yes, the
then in a
best.
second run, she gets worse. And then also in the very first match, because she was complaining about Logan Paul, which I wanted to get to beforehand, is that she was getting the same preferential treatment as Logan Paul. She was given time to practice, she was given time to rehearse. And then at some point, they've hired her to be a professional wrestler, not what Logan Paul still is, and he's an attraction. They've hired her to be a full-time superstar, and somewhere she's forgotten that, and she believes that she still deserves the superstar treatment. I mean, she was getting paid millions a year, and she didn't want to improve her craft, and all she didn't seem to do, especially on the second run, was resent it. She resented the
Wha-
fans who didn't universally love her, and she
What
seemed
was
to
her
resent anyone
okay,
telling her what to do.
what was her merchandise sales?
Good question. I don't know. She was never on the top 10, I don't think. Correct me
And
if I'm wrong, everybody.
she was the shit then.
Yeah. Do you know what I would have told her is how about you wipe that horrible face paint off your face? Because that's not adding to your character. It's just weird.
Well, I saw her go out one night and and this was from the back. They said, "Oh, go out there, kind of smile and kind of." That's not her gimmick. She's supposed to look like a sourpuss from the gate to the ring, and then go in there and perform that personality that she has given all the way down the aisle going to the ring. But she smiled, and all of a sudden she gets in the ring and she's ready to go. I'm saying, wait a minute. Why don't we let the A part of that uh, entranceway kind of be what the second part of that entrance is going to be when you in the ring? You're ready to go. But I mean, I see things like that, and you see just watching it the way I used to watch it. I'm thinking, there's nothing I can do. I might not like it, but hey, give me a feeling of your personality. And her personality was very serious. So why would she be friendly coming down the aisle? She was never friendly coming down the aisle in an MMA match, ever. She wanted to snatch somebody's head off their shoulders.
And speaking of friendly, here's the rest of the quote from Jimmy Smith. If you haven't noticed, I don't talk about things out of school. I don't talk about things out behind the scenes in WWE, behind the scenes in UFC. I don't do that, right? Kind of a personal rule. Let me let you in on something, Rhonda, if you're listening. The people behind the scenes, camera people, audio people, the people you can push around and the people you can bully and the people you can talk down to can't stand your effing ass. Everybody behind the scenes that had to put a mic on Ronda Rousey couldn't stand it. I asked why, and they said that she was a bitch. To us, from the moment that she sat down to the moment she got up, like it's our fault she has to do this interview to hype this fight or whatever. She's miserable and she's mean to us, and we can't stand her. They were cheering when she got knocked out. That's what I was told. So, I mean, she's just utterly hateful.
Just from what I've seen, and I've met her and I've been around her a little bit, not much. So, but I still have an opinion. I think she was just exactly as she's described. She's not very friendly and outgoing. That's just not her. But if you don't try to fake it by going down the start of your entrance by smiling and trying to talk to little kids. I mean, if you're going to be a kick-ass bitch, be a kick-ass bitch going down that aisle.
But people can see through it, though, can't they? Because especially when she's done all these social media posts, bitter at fans for not universally loving her, which is so, you never let them see your hand like that, for goodness sake. I don't understand what she was trying
She
to accomplish. It
doesn't
just soured it.
Yeah, she doesn't understand actually what type of environment she's working in. I mean, you can take a lot of guys that the fans don't like but they, like Logan Paul, they like him, but yet they don't like him. Like the old Road Dogg and Triple H, they kind of liked him because they had some cute sayings, but they wanted to see him get their ass kicked. But she didn't understand that. I don't know what compelled her to think she could get in the business and all of a sudden take that MMA training, which is a shoot style, and try to make it palatable for a wrestling fan. Her last two fights, she got knocked on her ass and knocked out. Holly Holm she had a one style, and that's to take her opponent down and grind it out on her and choke them out. Well, when they started throwing those hands at her, boom, 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 and she was on Dream Street, and that exposed her to the fans. She's not that good. She's good on the mat, but standing up, and that's another form of MMA, is trying to punch somebody, and she wasn't very good at it.
Hey, well, who was terrible at MMA, but it didn't affect his pro wrestling career, was CM Punk. He was awful at MMA. And
but it don't matter. See, CM Punk, he went out there. The way I looked at it, he got a chance because him being CM Punk to go in there and have a match for whatever they paid him, 500,000 or whatever. And he puts 2 minutes in before he taps out. Well, he's made 500 grand. I thought that was brilliant, to tell you the truth. And then he only had 2 fights, probably made $1 million in. But that's not a bad replacement for wrestling.
More.
What'd he make?
He made over $1 million just for his first fight.
Okay. Yeah, but I thought the promoters knew that he would be good for all those tickets, and I guess he was good for them. He got paid.